This is 93.5 CHMR FM.
You're listening to 93.5 CHMR FM, and this is The Aperture, a weekly hour-long discussion of all topics geek culture. I am one half of your journey with us, Rory DC.
And I'm Adam the Porge Knight.
I think you mean 1/3.
Yeah, well, we have a guest star
1/3 today because we do have a guest today.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
I'm Katie Black.
Yeah, there we go.
And why are you here? What have we brought you in to discuss today?
Oh, I heard you were doing Lord of the Rings on last week's, and you're my friend, so I thought I'd come.
Yep, there we go. And yeah, so we did mention we were going to discuss Lord of the Rings this week, and we did hold to that because oftentimes we don't really
Hold to
our schedule.
Because we like to break free, and we don't like to be bound by society's rules. We like to break free. Don't let the man hold you down.
Yeah, we're spontaneous. We're spontaneous like that.
And by
That's
the
what
man,
do.
we mean ourselves and our own.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just our own timetable and and plus I didn't get The Last of Us. When does The Last of Us come out?
Next week.
It does come out next week. Good. I was worried that it had already come out and I had somehow missed it. But we are going to do a show about that. Yeah.
Actually, it's next Friday, so we're going to do a show on that after the next week's show, which is about E3.
Yes. Yeah. So don't expect it next week, but expect E3 because I think that's better anyways. I think we can all agree on that. So Adam, do you have any news before we start?
I do. Actually, there's a fair bit of news, so bear with me. So first, the game Dark Souls 2 will be released sometime in March 2014, and it was announced via a banner outside the E3 Convention Center that was strung up. And I think that was a mistake by, I honestly don't think that the company wanted to announce the release date at that time. It was just somebody put up the banner early.
Yeah.
Kind of like Resistance 3,
Yeah.
which was announced via a banner shown in the filming for,
Battle Los Angeles.
Yeah. Second, Plants vs. Zombies 2, which is a game I really, really enjoyed, is finally getting release date for July 18th. Will be released for all the products, the iPad, the iPhone, and the iPod Touch, and it'll be free to play with every zombie and level available from the beginning, but you can use microtransactions to get additional plants and power-ups and things like that. It's said to contain new zombies and new plants in different theme worlds, like a cowboy world or a pirate world. It is a really great game. It's kind of like a tower defense game, but not really. I'm sure it's one of the most popular games released a couple of years ago, and it's fairly popular. A lot of people play it, so I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about when I say Plants vs. Zombies. Interestingly enough, though, they also teased a Mass Effect and Dead Space crossover with Plants vs. Zombies. Very interesting. It's called it was Dead Space, but it was like the guy from Dead Space, but he was a zombie, like the main character. I forget what his name is.
Isaac.
Yeah.
We'll just call him Isaac.
Yeah, I always want to call him Isaac Asimov, but it's not the author. And then for the Mass Effect one, it was all the plants from the game that were kind of dressed up, looked like the Mass Effect characters, and it just said Grass Effect. So I don't know. People aren't sure if that's going to be a new game or if it's going to be an additional feature for Plants vs. Zombies 2. Big news from the Xbox One. It's reportedly always online. You can only go offline for 24 hours. But after 24 hours, you will have to establish connection, or you won't be able to play any games at all. This says it will enable. They say it will enable developers to create bigger online worlds and bigger servers and things like that. I'm not 100% sure what that means. I think it's more for the anti-piracy measures that they're doing this.
Oh, it's definitely for that.
Yeah.
No, that's just an excuse.
It is just an excuse. Additionally, Microsoft says that you can sell, trade in any games to retailers as long as the publisher of the game and the retailers are participating, and that you can lend your disc-based copy of games to friends, and anyone can play the game on your system without rumored additional fees. Because they were saying you can't, if you have a friend over, he can't play a game with you on the same console, but that's not true. However, you can only give games to friends once. So if I wanted to give Rory a copy of Mass Effect, like Mass Effect 4, let's say, then I would only be able to lend to him once, and after that,
Kindle.
What?
It's like ebooks.
Yeah, so a lot of people are getting angry about that. But on more positive news, apparently Microsoft says that you will be able to buy disc-based games still, but you will also be able to get digital copies of games at launch and buy them directly off of Xbox Live, kind of like Steam. So I think that's really cool. That's pretty cool, and it kind of offsets some of the negativity about the other announcements. But still, I'm kind of leaning right now towards PlayStation 4, and they're going to have to really wow me at E3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Capcom's new game, Remember Me, came out on Monday. I haven't played it yet. I haven't heard great things, but I want to give it a try for myself just to see what it's like. And this is going to be good news for Rory. Kiefer Sutherland is now voicing Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid, was it 5 now?
Yeah, they'd be on 5. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, just one question. Who is Big Boss?
Oh, we're not going to get into the intricacies of Metal Gear Solid today. That's a whole nother thing. Like, that's approaching Tekken realm at this point. There are 4 games into it.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is that Kiefer Sutherland's voice acting is fantastic. Did you, Adam, Katie, have either of you ever seen Phone Booth?
No. Was it good?
It was cool, but I mean, the point is Kiefer Sutherland, it's his voice like half the movie.
Okay.
Just his voice. You don't get to see him.
Oh, okay.
And he still holds it together, so that's good. But yeah, so is that everything with news?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, perfect. So we're going to transition into Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Now, you guys did some sort of hardcore preparation for this one, as I understand it.
Yeah, we stayed up until like at least 2:30 in the morning watching all the behind the scenes. And by all of them, I mean like a small fraction, because each movie comes with like 9 discs of special features. And where they talk about like how they had to like CGI the correct color of Gollum's armpit sweat and make sure it was right. No, but it was but there was a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff. I have to admit, like they show you how they do the Hobbit's feet. They show you how they CGI like Gollum and like the different like stuff. They show you how they coordinate like the swords battles. They show you how they train the actors to be like to fire arrows or to like fight with swords. How they like got the actors to learn the languages. Like there's so much stuff, because honestly I think that Lord of the Rings is one of the biggest movies ever made, like one of the biggest movies franchises ever made. I don't know what you guys think.
Well, it definitely is one of the biggest, I think.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree on that. But
Katie, would you say it's your favorite movie?
That employed a country.
Yeah, well, yeah, really though.
Yeah, well, also one of the better movies in terms of a franchise, in terms of being consistent.
Yeah.
And like an amazing pioneer of like CGI technology in general and mocap. Like, I mean, Weta started so many like computer software systems that are used in movies 10 years later.
Like, Katie, what was the story that you were telling me about the wine thing
yeah, no, I was in cultural geography this year, and like New Zealand, you know, has markets itself as Middle Earth, especially as the Hobbit's being made now, and like it's kind of lost sort of its identity as like a tourist destination for its own sake. 'Cause, I mean, it's a beautiful country, and Lake Wanaka area have a winery that, you know, was beautiful for like its wide open fjord, or I guess it was a lake. They have a lot of fjords in New Zealand though, so you can go boating in the fjord and the lake, and you know, go up to the resort or whatever and taste the wine. I think it's a ski resort in the winter, but they changed their marketing for this place as "Watch wizards turn water into wine." So it gets a little bit of overkill, I suppose, but I'm sure that their tourism industry has boomed as a result.
And New Zealand Air got the rights to use characters and costumes from Lord of the Rings for their in-flight safety
security,
videos.
Yeah.
And it
I'll put a link on our Facebook page, but somebody posted, I think it might have been New Zealand Air, posted their safety film online. And it's just like it'll be just people in the seats, and like next to them will be like a Nazgul or like Gollum or like an orc or something.
Everyone's Hobbit feed.
Yeah, and it's hilarious.
Also, I think it helped to bring out some really good actors as well.
Yeah.
Who, like, you know, maybe not everyone knew who Viggo Mortensen was. Honestly, even though he'd been acting, you know, for a
and
while.
he was also cast late, like the day before they needed to shoot his first scene. He was cast because they had a different actor first, and they made the like final decision that he was just a little too young, was playing it too young.
Do we know who the different actor was?
Peter Townsend, maybe. It seems familiar. Adam wants to double check
that name sounds familiar.
That could be totally wrong.
Although Pete Townsend was a guitar player.
Okay.
So I don't know if
familiar for that fact.
he also wrote the theme song for CSI. Anyways,
that was one of the stories we were listening to, and that like they were just thinking. I don't even like Viggo wasn't aware, but Peter called him up. Was like, you know, we want you. It's like, well, you know, come to New Zealand for 15 months.
Right.
I don't think it's Peter Townsend, because for Peter Townsend, I'm getting he was either an RAF officer.
Just look up
the musician for the Who.
Yeah, the Who guitar player.
Golfer.
Yes, it's the Who. I'll get it after. But yeah, his son actually convinced him to do the role because his son had read the books and was a massive fan. So go Henry Mortensen. Thank you for that, because I think he's the biggest deviant from the character in the books. Like if you read Lord of the Rings at all, Aragorn is, like, he wants to be king. He's super arrogant. He has his sword from the beginning. He's just, like, I don't think he doesn't enter Minas Tirith because he wants